Yo, what up, random? All right, there we go. I'm doing good. Getting ready to build a sweet PC. Halfway through the week already, because thanks Labor Day. All right, there we go. We are ready to roll over here. All right, get some water. Put some gloves on, and then we're ready to start. Okay, we're ready to go. So today we are building a PC for an NFL quarterback today. It's gonna be awesome. It's got an RTX 5080, got a Ryzen 9 9900X, 5 terabytes of storage, 48 gigs of RAM. We've got all white components, we've got the white Corsair case, white Corsair AIO. This thing is gonna be real nice. We're gonna know who once you put the stickers on it. I hope so. Yeah, I'm still waiting on clearance to say his name. He obviously is busy right now with football season having just started, but hopefully he'll get back to me like this evening or tomorrow, and we'll be able to make like some vertical content on the PC that we built for him. You know, it'd be cool. Okay, should we get started? I think we should. What up, Mr. Davis? Look at this giant 5080. It's huge. It's pretty hard to find a white 5080 right now, I'm not gonna lie. Not a lot of them available, and they are expensive. So much more expensive than a plain black one that doesn't have a bunch of RGB on it. But when you want a white build, you want a white build, and I don't know why I grabbed that out. What up, Nitro Zone? Thank you for the likes, dude. All right, so we are starting off hot with the MSI X870E Edge Wi-Fi.
What up, Ted?
Yo, what up, Richard? How we doing? Happy Wednesday. Yo, what up, thanks? Not much, we're just building a PC, bro. Richard coming in clutch with those pinned comments already. What a baller. All right, let's swap you guys over here so you can see what we're doing. There is a lot of plastic on this this motherboard out of the box, so we're gonna have to get all that off there real quick. Gonna have to build when I get one within the next year. Yeah, is yours getting a little A little out of date, slowing down a little bit. All right, I think we got all the plastic. There we go. Okay, so we've got, oh, one more. We've got the MSI X870E Tomahawk, not Tomahawk, bro, I can't talk right now. The Edge MPG motherboard. This is a very nice, probably their highest end motherboard when it comes to the white ones. So that's what we went with this very fancy, very nice PC. What I've used for my whole life is over 10 years old. Wow, that's pretty impressive that you've had it last 10 years. And next, we got the Ryzen 9 9900X. You might be asking, why didn't you go with the 9800X 3D? Well, he wants to game and stream on this. He's gonna be on Twitch and stuff, so we wanted to make sure that he has plenty of cores to run all of his stream stuff, record, you know, animations, everything else going on in the background, music. So having the 12 core over the 8 core 9800X 3D is gonna be really nice for the streaming. You know, slightly less performance in gaming, but it's still gonna be really good. Can't play Helldivers without wanting to blow up. What up, Low Tunai? How we doing? 4060 I built is still going strong as a single PC gaming and streaming. Love that. That's impressive. All right, let's get our 1 terabyte SSD in here. This is going to be the main drive, the OS drive, and then we've got an additional 4 terabytes of storage for all the other good stuff. There's a spider. Spider? I don't see any spiders. What up, Ikmo? What up, Andy? Welcome in. Good to see you. Yo, Nitro Zone, you're going nuts over there with the likes, and I love it. Okay, so we've got our 1 terabyte main. We're gonna put our second SSD down here, 4 terabyte. That way we definitely don't have to worry about sharing any PCI lanes. We can double check that real quick, actually. MSI MPG X870E Edge TI Wi-Fi. We're gonna double check this. You know, these are things that I could do beforehand, but this shows you guys how we do this. So you just go into the support page, click on manual, and then we want the English manual. And then all you gotta do is you just scroll down here for a little ways. This is showing you how to install it. Looking at expansion slots. Got our PCI lanes sitting there. M.2. Okay, so none of these M.2 slots actually share lanes with the GPU. So we're good to go. We can put it wherever we want. We're putting it down here. It doesn't really matter. How much does this one cost? This one was around 4,000. So we did, the biggest reason why it costs so much is the white 5080 is like $400 or $500 more than a standard one. So that definitely drove the price up. And then, yo, Random, thank you for liking the stream. And then we also did a laser engraved logo on the glass panel, so that adds another $100 or so. So I would say if you didn't do that and you didn't need it all in white, you could probably get this build from me for about $3,600. And that's with a 5080 and a 9900X and 5 terabytes of storage. We went a little all out on this build. come on. Time for our 48 gigabytes of RAM. I remember when like 16 was like the normal, like we just like budget friendly builds, whatever. We're like, oh yeah, we can just go 16. And 32 was like, oh yeah, if you're gaming or it's a high, or if you're streaming and it's a higher end build, we would go 32. Not anymore. Times have changed. Times have changed. All right, 48 gigs, 9900X, 5 terabytes of storage. We're ready. Let's throw this baby in a case, and not just any case. We're actually going to use this opportunity to tell you guys something cool. You might not have seen it if you haven't seen, some of my recent posts. This is the Corsair 3500X, and I am now partnering with Corsair. So if you want to buy Corsair components, cases, peripherals, any of that sort of stuff, go to Corsair.com, use code REDNECK, that's REDNEK, and you can buy Corsair stuff with a discount, and I get a little kickback. If you type in !Corsair on hopefully most of the chats, it'll give you the code there. But needless to say, I'm really excited, and if you haven't been, make sure you're following me on my socials. Corsair is actually sponsoring me to upgrade my whole streaming PC. They're providing basically all the components I need to upgrade my system, with the exception of like stuff they don't make. So, CPU, motherboard, GPU, they're not upgrading those, but I'm getting new power supply, new case, new RAM, SSD, case fans, AIO, all that stuff they are sending to me for free. So I'm really excited to work with them. Hopefully we'll be able to do some more stuff in the future with them than just this, but even if it's just this, I'm really excited. Some of those holes aren't quite lining up, and I don't know why. Hold on. Take this off real quick so we have access to that one. Come on. Okay. That's pretty well lined up. We'll be okay there. SpongeBob was clapping your cheeks. What? What are you talking about, dude? Yo, what up, Kelly T? Tell them they need to partner with my podcast. Bro, that'd be sweet. I can send you a referral thing and see if they're willing to do it. Shoot me a DM to remind me. Shouldn't need this. Definitely need that. Definitely need those. Definitely need those. And I need these ones in the middle. Okay. This is a really nice case. I really like this one. Yeah, the 3500X with the ARGB RS120s. We're going to have a bunch of matching RS120 fans. So we'll have the one in the back. We'll have one down here. We'll have the AIO, we'll have those. And then we're also going to put a couple down here below the GPU. So it's going to look really nice. And they're all going to match. Yeah, it's worth a shot, dude. All right. Let's get this motherboard nailed down. I want the new 3-chamber case seen at the tech convention. Yeah, probably come on. Don't know if that's actually available or not. Do you remember the name of it? This is a customer build. Like if you look at the description, this is for NFL quarterback. It's okay, we don't need to be mean. You might not have seen it. This PC's looking good, thank you, Random. It is gonna be a sexy PC for sure. All right, all those are in there and started. Let's get them all tightened down. There we go. Let's get this guy back on here. It was hiding one of our bolts, so I had to take it off. Cool. Here we go. Shouldn't need any more of those. And we are ready to stand this baby up. How much dollars? This particular build was about $4,000. The white GPU, the white 5080, definitely drove the price up a bit. And then we also did a custom laser engraving on the glass. And then obviously 5 terabytes of storage will definitely add a couple $100 too. We are using the Zotac, this guy. Zotac Solid OC White Edition. There's not a lot of white GPUs, especially 5080s, available, so we didn't have a lot of freedom to just pick whatever we wanted, you know? All right. Let's switch to that, and then we'll switch you guys over there. Okay, let's fix this nonsense first. Get those panels out of the way. So we'll undo these guys. I'm gonna route them straight to the back, and we'll do the connections on the back side. Just like that. Now we'll do the same thing for the fan. And we gotta do these two as well. Scooch those back over to the back. Scooch those over to the back. And that'll clean up the front of that case right nicely. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now normally I would do this stuff right away, but I'm actually going to install this bottom fan first because it's kind of a pain to get to later on. So we'll do it now. Recently built a PC. Could there be a bottleneck between my 5700X and 9060 XT? If there is a bottleneck, it's your 5700X for sure. Being stuck on DDR4 RAM and stuff is definitely going to, you know, it's not going to be as capable as a new GPU could be. I wouldn't imagine it's major though. Their triple chamber case is the Air 5400. Oh, I have seen that. I've never seen one in person, obviously, but I do remember seeing that. All right, let's get this bottom fan installed. Stick these guys through here. Come on. Okay, got that one through there. All right, so, and you guys are probably asking, why don't I have the reverse blade fans? Well, unfortunately, the ones that are still available right now through like most places are still the non-reverse blade version on the case itself. So in order to match that, we're gonna stay with the same fans. They still look really good, to be honest. I love the look of that frame, so personally, it wouldn't bother me at all. What up, Pineapple? Oh no! You wrote me an email and it got deleted. That is unfortunate. RX 580 or 1080 Ti? Yeah, 1080 Ti. It's just a prototype? Okay. Yeah, I remember seeing pictures and stuff of it, but I've never seen one, so that makes sense. Okay. Gotta be really careful with these bolts on these fans. I've noticed if you over tighten them, you'll hear a cracking sound, so we don't want to do that. There we go. Nice and secure. Okay, this fan is installed, and we can route this directly up to these guys here, or we can find the end of these ones down here and connect them into that. So instead of routing it all the way up, we could route it to here and then put the extensions back on that. But honestly, I think for cable management, it might be nicer to have them all the way at the top. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. Just like that. Okay, so then we'll be able to just stick that up there. Okay, let's get to start. Let's grab a couple of cable ties. That's what you get for writing on mobile. You're right. I have a question. Does the Ryzen 5 7600X 3D have integrated graphics? Yes, it does. It's good enough for like just using to like connect a monitor. It's not really good enough to do any serious gaming on though. Like you can probably get away with it at like 1080p low settings for a little while if you're trying to get a GPU soon. But yeah, it's probably not going to be a very enjoyable gaming experience, if I'm being honest. Which model? 5080? I think I answered that. A random fact is my username says Rendum. The reason why it's just a typo. Oh, okay. Okay. No, I don't use any anti-static stuff. I just use the gloves, which essentially creates an anti-static barrier between anything I'm picking up on like my feet and my hands. So that's usually plenty for this. I've never had any problems with it. Just gonna throw some cable ties up here right off the rip, just to kind of keep things together, and it'll look a little bit nicer than using those twist ties that they come with. I think I mentioned the KCU before, but it was like back in April, May. Okay. Yeah, that sounds familiar. But I feel like I remember seeing them have it at like Gamescom or something like very recently. Okay. That is all run through there. Let's get our stuff plugged in. So let's do HD audio first. You know, we gotta keep our same order. I don't want to be changing stuff here. All right, HD audio is going down here at the bottom left. And we've got our front panel. I know I don't normally do this right after the HD audio, but whatever. Come at me, bro. Come at me, bro, for changing my order. MSI or Gigabyte motherboards? I prefer MSI 100%. Yo, what up, TBD? I'm doing good, man. If you scroll up, Richard posted it. Maybe I can pin it. There we go. I just pinned it for you guys if you want to know what the components are. Thoughts on the 7900X 3D? It's not a great choice, to be honest. If you want like really good, like just straight gaming performance, get the 7800X 3D or a 9800X 3D. If you are looking for more like workstation type stuff, you know, you could just get the 7900X or the 7950X. But the 7900X 3D, they've shown like does not perform better than the 7950X 3D, and it is kind of funky having two 6-core CIDs. It doesn't do as well as it should. Like you look at it, you're like, oh, that should be just like a nice middle ground between the 7800X 3D and the 7950X 3D, but it just didn't turn out that way. The 7900X, great option. 7950X, 7950X 3D if you like really need all those extra cores. If you're just gaming, just get the 7800X 3D or 9800X 3D. Okay. All this stuff that's in here is now plugged in. Let's get our other two fans installed down here, and then we'll move on. One and two, and then we'll put another one up there. That'll be 3. What up, Fadeaway? How's it going? I haven't chatted in a while, but I'm always lurking. Hey, good to see you, man. Yeah, exactly what Richard said. Okay, so got all that. For the back one, we're gonna need a couple of bolts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, let's get these bottom fans installed. Love my PCs this guy built for me. Dude, those are so cool. The PCs we built for you are freaking sexy. Okay, so we gotta run this down through there. Just like that. And they are very kind enough to give us these. The 9070 XT is a great GPU. It rivals, like it sits somewhere between the 5070 Ti and 5080, depending on like what game and stuff you're playing. But it tends to be like the same price, if not a little bit cheaper, at least for a while it was, than the 5070 Ti. Now that the 5070 Ti's have, like all the Nvidia GPUs have come down in price, they're a lot closer in price, but yeah, it's a great option for sure. Yeah, this is a beastly build, TBD. Like no jokes. This thing is gonna rock. My brother may be messaging you for a quote on a rig. Hey, let's go. Love to hear that. I'm sorry, when I see what's up, brother, I can't, I know it's old news now, but I can't like not try and say, what's up, brother? I know that's like ancient for like kids, you know, like trends move so fast that they're like, wow, you're so old doing that. But you know, when I was a kid, saying stuck around for years, maybe even decades before we decided to stop using them. So, you know, whatever. Also, in case you guys weren't in here earlier, you missed it, we are partnering with Corsair. They are helping fund basically an entirely new streaming PC for me. So if you need, you know, new PC parts, peripherals, whatever, go to Corsair.com and use code REDNECK to get a nice little discount. If you type in !Corsair, it'll give you the code in case you didn't remember it or you forgot my name. Look at that. And of course, you know, if you use that, then I get a nice little kickback too, which is, you know, it's great. Helps keep the stream and everything going. So definitely appreciate that. If you guys are gonna buy something, you know, use my code. Yes, we just brought on 2 new content creator partners. We've got KT and Finks. 2 lovely ladies. I actually got to meet Finks at Loot Fest last year, and she is just adorable and sweet and a great content creator. So I was really excited to have them join on. And yeah, speaking of Corsair stuff, so pretty soon we'll have some more videos coming out of, like, I'm gonna show off the next component I got, and then we'll probably make some sort of video on the rebuild. So I'll be like completely rebuilding my stream PC here shortly with all the new stuff we got from Corsair. There's still some more stuff that's gonna be coming in. So we'll have a couple of like updates to the build as time goes on. But we'll have that coming here real soon. If you guys haven't yet, I personally think the power supply little like silly 90s sitcom or 90s like silly 90s like infomercial video I did was hilarious. So you guys if you guys haven't checked that out, you should, because personally I think it was incredible. Okay, so we have 1 RGB port up there. All right. So we're gonna route this through here. We're gonna have every single one of these fans daisy chained together. So the only things that won't be on the same daisy chain are the CPU cooler fans, but all this other stuff we're gonna put together. It's gonna keep that case up front nice and clean. Like I've said many times, key to cable management, at least for me, is to just manage as you go. Don't try and do it all at the end. You add something in, manage it up. Cool, cool. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go this fan into this fan, and then this fan into these other fans, just like that. Super easy. This fan into this fan, these fans into all the other fans. The daisy chain of the century. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fans all into a single connector. How freaking cool is that?
I just read something
Probably shouldn't
about
wrap
G
those
Fuel
around
shutting
that
down.
thing. Okay. I'd say 90% of cable management is just planning. Plan it all out, and then it'll look nice. Okay, and these we can just make them go like right over here, like that, once we get everything else in. Cool. It's starting to come together pretty good. Okay, there we go. See, now we just got kind of a little bit of wrangling down there to do, and then that's all set. All right, let's get some power cables in here. Sean, the gloves, 2 things. One, they do act as a like an anti-static sort of device. They keep any static buildup from me from getting onto anything. And then 2, they keep everything clean, which is the more important part. You don't want smudges and fingerprints all over like your nice shiny stuff. So the gloves keep my fingerprints and the oils and everything on my hands from getting anywhere. Any faves? Any favorites of what? Sorry. That was probably from a few minutes ago. What up, Hobo? How we doing? Congrats on the partnership. Thank you, sir. Appreciates that. Just read something about G Fuel shutting down. No, I looked into that as well. They're doing a major rebrand. So they made it sound like they're shutting down, But from what I understand, they're doing like a huge rebrand. Look, it even came with a white power cable. That's awesome. Because I thought the same thing. I was like, wow, G Fuel's shutting down? Like that was a surprise for sure. But yeah, it sounds like they're doing just like a giant rebrand. Yeah, I mean, dude, this is gonna be a sick build, dude. From your upcoming personal build parts. Ooh, I mean, the Corsair Shift power supply is really nice. The AIO is gonna be really cool. And then, I mean, honestly, I think the case is my favorite because I customized the case. If you haven't seen that, you should definitely go check it out. I have a video on TikTok of it. Yeah, the case, I did like a custom paint job on it. Personally, I think it looks really cool. There's plenty of people who I'm sure don't think that, but they can suck it because it's not their computer, it's mine. I know, right? It's all about marketing these days. I wish I was better at that. I wish I was better at marketing, that's for sure. Turns out, engineers don't make great salesmen, you guys. I will tell you the truth, even if it's to my own detriment, which is sometimes a problem. The case is fire? Yeah, it's sick. Yeah, and I mean, it's not like something super edgy, but it's just like, I did some like custom like silvery chrome painting on it, like some accents, and some people are like, wow, you made it worse. I'm like, well, I don't think so. Like, you say that, but I don't think I made it worse. Wow, that is like the smoothest zip tie I have ever felt. It was like there was no resistance in the like ratcheting scheme. Let's take this out real quick. What do I do with my screwdriver? There it is. I'm gonna take this back plate out real quick, just so I can get come on. There we go. Just so I can get a zip tie around this. Ooh, I can technically run these down here. Can I? That's fancy. I think this is mostly meant, there's a little channel back here. I think it's designed for like the IQ link stuff, but you know, we don't have any of that in here. So if I can run a power cable down it and it looks super clean, I'm gonna do it. First one went through so easily. Well, let's try making sure we face it this way. Go. Make it through. You can do it, we believe. Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. Now they just disappear behind that. Come out at the bottom. Reach right over to the power supply. Look at that. So clean, so sexy. Okay, got that in there. Let's get our power supply in here. What up, MJ? How we doing? Neither do ops people. So what you're saying is, Richard, I need to find somebody who can do my marketing for me for free because I don't have any money. Don't worry, I'll put that on later. That's what I'm hearing. I mean, if we do well enough, then like I could pay somebody to do my marketing, but can't do that at the moment. I can't say right now who the QB is. I didn't get a response from him yet on whether I could name drop. So I'm waiting on that confirmation before I say who it is. Unfortunately, I should have asked like a couple days ago. I didn't think to ask until today, and obviously, you know, it's the middle, like it's the start of football season, so he's pretty busy. Turns out football players, they play football and they practice football and they train for football, so they're pretty busy. All right, and there's another Seasonic up here. Okay, got those bad boys off. Okay. Let's get that out of the way. Let's actually do this down here. Stay. Okay, got that in there. Let's get our power supply bolts out. Yeah, they do training year round for sure. But like right now is like, they're gonna be going extra hard because they've got games coming up. Thermaltake Core P3 TG Pro is your favorite tower? Ooh, I like Thermaltake stuff, man. They make really cool stuff. And don't think that just because I'm partnering with Corsair, like we're only going to be using Corsair products from here on out. That is not a stipulation of the stuff I'm doing with them, so I will not be beholden to that. This one just happened to work out really well as using Corsair stuff. You had a nice healthy budget. You wanted it to be all white and look really good, so I wanted to make sure we had all matching stuff without going crazy overboard on the cost. So that's why we ended up with this spec sheet. Okay. This guy's gonna come out over there somewhere. Yep, right there. Okay. Kind of nicely that's coming together already. And we'll have our GPU power cable probably come out under here. Just like that. We can use one of these Seasonic cable ties back here. Finally found and got a fully functional 4090 for 500 bucks. Dang, that's pretty incredible. $500 for a 4090? That's ballin', dude. That. Look how clean that's already coming together, you guys. Don't mind that. That'll get fixed. But okay, let's put our back panel back on here. We shouldn't need access to this at all. There we go. All right, front's looking pretty clean. It's time for the AIO. Time for the AIO. Give you 600 for the 4090. You think you know who the PC is for, MJ? That'd be impressive if you did. That would be impressive if you knew. Be careful about power supply cables supplied, depending on motherboard, even top. I've never had problems with power supplies not providing enough cables. I don't know where you're buying your power supplies from, but I've never had that problem. I know who the player is, Soldier, but I am not allowed to say yet. I was not able to get his permit. He didn't say no, but he wasn't able to respond in time for me to start the stream today, so I'm not able to say who it is yet. Hopefully I'll be able to make a post about it soon though, and a video. Stuff can all go back in the box. Okay. So, plan here is to mount it like this. So when I put the fans on, I want the tails that way. Don't fall. Stay. So there's going to be intake fans like that. Yeah, I'm really hoping in the next day or two we'll be able to announce it and get a little hype for it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to secure that before the live stream. Okay. AMD bracket, we do need that. We don't need the LGA. We are gonna need stuff out of here. Yeah, isn't that sweet? I'm hoping that like, this is the first one. This is the first NFL player we've built for, so I'm kind of hoping that this will, you know, get the ball rolling. Thumb screws, don't need silica gel. I need that. LGA 1700 standoff, don't need that. Extender, we might need that. AMD standoff, we're gonna need that. Screws, perfect. Sorry about all the awful sounds, but they're using friendly to the environment packaging, so it's not my fault. Red did it the natural way too, through reputation and phenomenal work. That's right. We don't pay for advertising here, although we probably should start at some point, but we don't right now. Is a PY 3070 and a 5600 good? I mean, it's not bad. Like, you can definitely play games on it. That CPU is definitely going to be struggling in, you know, a lot of games if you're playing, you know, heavy CPU heavy games, but it's definitely capable of playing anything. Just at what performance will be kind of questionable. I mean, he's okay, I guess. Wow! 10-minute timeout for Mean Dean. Saying something so hurtful. Go sit in the corner and think about what you've done, Mean Dean. Although I guess it's on brand for your name. Bro, they gave us so many of these bolts. I guess you could do like a push-pull configuration with these. All right, got all those in there. Need a 24-hour PC building stream? Bro, we would need so many PCs sold to do that. I'd love to. All right. Be stuck under there. Okay. Do I care which way? I think we want the end of it to be over here. So let's do this. Like so. Okay. Just like that. And these guys are gonna get attached to those. How much do people pay you to make a PC? It's just a percentage of the cost of the components. So if it's cheap build, you know, it could be like $100. If it's a really expensive build, it could be several $100s. Since COD is dead, try out Delta Force. I haven't played any games, dude. I've gamed like 3 times maybe in the last 3 months. I'm busy golfing and other stuff and working. Okay, so we got all that. I'm gonna zip tie these together a little bit, keep them nice and tight. Keep them from going everywhere. Should just need to do those. Okay. Get these guys out of the way. We're gonna bring it on down. Did I really do that backwards? Oh well. I think I meant the cables to be on the other side, but it's fine. I mean, the cables on like I did this part right, but I think I wanted the cables to come out over here, but it's actually better over here, so good thing we messed up. There we go. Got that all pushed through. Get a couple of bolts on here to hold this thing up. Okay, I think that's a pretty good spot to put them. Addicted to Dune, nice. It's only because your best friends disappeared? That's fair. They still game together, but they also are usually gaming like long before I'm able to get on. Got my name from a little kid who I kept eliminating with the crossbow and DMZ. Sadly, I was on Xbox all the time, so I couldn't record audio. Oh, that's such a bummer. That's hilarious, though. How old is Dune? All right. Here we go. Put this guy back on top. Here we go. Oh, actually we need to bring this back down. Sorry, I lied. We're not ready. We need to run a couple of zip ties up to the top to keep these fan cables from sticking down, hanging down. I make some content like CrossFit Mike harder than it looked. Okay. What up, Delroy? How we doing? Okay. Doing good, love to hear that. Just realized I can fit this through here. Just pop it back down. Just like that. This side, it's not really hanging down much, but we can try and help it a little bit. Dude, Muffin. I miss Muffin, man. He was so much fun to play with. He's such a good player, too. Go. Okay. Now it looks good. No low-hanging cables there. Okay. Let's get our CPU cooler block mounted. Our standoff. We're gonna need for our bracket, and we need our standoffs. So we just gotta take these little built-in brackets out. $9700X with the Thermalright Phantom Spirit. I don't recall which one that is. Thermalright has so many different components. Let me see. Thermalright Phantom Spirit. Oh yeah, that's totally capable of keeping the 9700X cool. Totally capable. Just cut him. And he doesn't want RGB on the top anyways, right? It's the updated Peerless Assassin. Yeah, that's definitely worth it. definitely capable. I mean, personally, I prefer an all-in-one cooler in terms of looks and stuff, for like the same price from them, but that thing is definitely not gonna have any problems keeping that cool. Okay, so that's gonna go like that. And then we need to open these guys. Okay. Okay, get all these started. No, there's nothing wrong with that cooler. I was just saying I prefer an all-in-one liquid cooler, especially because Thermorite has ones for like roughly the same price. Like that one's like a $48 air cooler, but it's more than capable of cooling your 9700X. Boom. Okay. And we just need to route these cables. Then we're down to literally just the GPU at this point. We are almost done. Of course they would put black cables on a white AIO. Come on, guys. Okay, we got pump fan right there. I guess I need to deal with the RGB cable for the CPU cooler fans too, but. Okay, got that. And we've got this guy here. It's gonna go to our CPU cooler, CPU fan header. Just right there. Just like that. And then it looks like this is the only one with the daisy chain, so we gotta run fans into the cooler, and then the cooler is going to come out and down to there. Do I want to do it from the side? I think I want to do it from the side over here. Okay, there's that covered. And now we just need to manage a couple more cables and get our GPU installed. Yo, what up, Jedi? How we doing? Oh, it's too thick. Okay, I gotta use one of these. My audio sounds messed up. Is anyone else hearing like an echo or anything? Is it safe to plug in a power supply cable of 6-pin to a 4-pin on the motherboard? You mean like the standard CPU power cable that has 8 on one side and then it splits to 4 and 4? Do I sound echoey to anybody else? Sounds fine to me. Okay, maybe it's, yeah, maybe try reloading, because usually it happens everywhere if my audio is actually doubled, because you should be getting the exact same audio as everybody else. Yeah, Google Chrome is muted. Yeah, no, it should be fine. If it is, there's nothing I can do about it because all my settings over here are correct. Okay, now we need to get this guy installed. Oh, no, you're fine, dude. I'm glad it's working. Case ordered, code Redneck. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you using the code, dude.
It's a trap.
Guess I have a rebuild to do soon. Let's go. What case did you get? I think we need to, if I remember right, we need to use this guy. Okay. Richard with 30 freaking months subscribed on Kick. #1 mod status right there. Okay. That's installed. Can loosen that up real quick. Okay. And it's GPU time, folks. It is GPU time. It is that time of the build where we get to put the flashiest, the most expensive, the most exotic component in the PC. And the last use of our knife. 2.5 years, that's crazy. The 3500X, nice. So my cable is 8 pins and splits to 6 and 2. Okay, so the 6 and 2 is not a CPU power to the motherboard. So 6 and 2 is a PCIe power, so that would be for like a GPU or something similar. If it's going directly to the motherboard, that would be either like the EPS cable or CPU power. You shouldn't need to send one of those to the motherboard directly, unless you have one of the new like BTS motherboards where all the connections are on the back. Been waiting and waiting for the Y70, but this price, yeah, the price is just so crazy on the Y70. Like, I kind of get it. It's a crazy looking case, but it's kind of hard to justify. The motherboard has an 8 and then a 4. Yeah, so you're not using the right cable to start with. You need the CPU or the EPS cable. Those ones on the cable, it'll be a solid 8 on one side, and then it'll split to 4 and 4 on the other side. That's the easy way to ensure you're getting the right cable if they're not labeled for you. Bro, this plastic is weaker than the adhesive they used. I swear on this sort of stuff, they're like, what's the best adhesive we can use? And like, what's the cheapest plastic we can use? And let's put them together. I swear that's their thought process. There we go. That thing is chunky. So this thing comes with its own GPU support, but we don't need to use that because we have one built in. It also comes with this fancy cable. Oh, for the RGB. Interesting. Hopefully we can get that in there without it looking terrible. Okay, so we need 3 slots open on here. Anybody who wants the Y70 get the Y60, don't worry about the LCD touchscreen. Yeah, you can actually buy LCD touchscreen kits for the Y60 as well. I actually did an upgrade for somebody that had a Y60 like long before the Y70 came out, and you can add an LCD screen to it. I don't think it was a touch screen, but you know, it was a screen at least. Okay, this guy is currently in the way. We might have to use the built-in stand. Okay, so that closed. Yeah, we might have to use the built-in stand rather than, or the included stand instead of this one that comes from Corsair, because for one, it's blocking being able to use either of those USB 3 ports, and it also, when you use it to actually lift up on the GPU, I think it's causing a, yeah, it's hitting the fan. So we're actually going to take that back out, and we are going to use the included one from Zotac because that's just what we got to do. Unfortunate, but there's no other way around it. So, plug this guy back in. I might need to pull this off for a second. Okay, got that plugged back in. And where is this little support? This guy is not very tall. Don't think that guy's gonna work either. We can put it up here for now. Maybe like right in the middle. I don't think that's gonna be enough support. Okay. And we're gonna snake this guy through here. Okay. Leave that out for now. Okay. That is fully seated. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that there for now just to keep it from sagging, but we will have to get something that will reach from here up to the top. So we'll have to do that real quick, and hopefully we can get something overnighted. But yeah, that looks pretty sweet. I don't think we want to use this because I feel like it's gonna look super trashy. That just fell off. It's not very long. Okay. Get it down there. Trying to see if I can just get this in here and we'll see how it looks. You might not even need this, to be honest. Signal RGB might be able to control the RGB on this without plugging it into the motherboard, but we'll see. There we go, got it. That was a tight fit down there. So if we decide to keep it, we'll basically just zip tie it over here and down. If we figure out that we don't actually need this cable, we'll just take it back out. But that will be something I will find out on another day. Or, well, not on stream. Cable management looks good. Thank you. Glad to hear that. Let me show you the back and make sure you still feel the same. Not too shabby. That needs to get added into there. There. If only mine looked like that. Well, that's why people pay me to do it, right? If my AAO cooler already has paste, do I need to apply extra on the CPU? No, you do not. You'll need to reapply it every like couple years, but you don't need to add any more if it comes pre-applied. All right. We are looking good right now. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. What do we think of that? How sexy and spicy is that? What do we think of the build? Let me get some water real quick. Oh, actually, you guys, I just had a brilliant idea. Yeah, Zotac in white looked really good. What if I 3D printed my own stand to just sit right here and hold up the corner of the GPU? What do you guys think about that? Like, I could design something that sits here and just like reaches to the front and the back. Like, I'll just take some measurements and it'll just like sit and hold up like that, and it'll just kind of like sit right up against here with his number on it. I could design his logo into it probably. He didn't want his number on the case, which is why we didn't put the number or like his team on here, but he did put his logo on here. Well, I think we have to have some sort of GPU stand to keep this thing from sagging over time, because it's a heavy GPU, and neither of the options that came with it work. One would block the USB 3, and the other one was too short to stick down here and didn't really work up here with the fans there. So What would it look like vertically mounted? It would look good probably, but you can't actually vertically mount it in this case. There's no pass-throughs. You would need to pass-throughs right here because your GPU would sit like this, like right up against the front. You would have to change everything on it, but it would look good. Plug it in and turn it on. All right, favorite emoji in the chat if you want to see this thing get powered on. Favorite emoji in the chat right now if you want to see this baby get fired up. Mean Dean TBD. Oh, the wifey's in here. What's his number? I think I'm gonna tell you that. You know how easy it would be to find a QB with whatever number he is? Come on, guys. I'm not that dumb. You can do multiple things with that Corsair screen that you can't with the height touch screen. True. Dude, yeah, have you seen the new Corsair screen? The, shoot, what's it called? The Xeneon Edge. I'm pushing really hard to get them to send me one so I can make a video on it, because that thing is so cool. All right. First ever power on. Reminder, 9900X, 48 gigs of RAM, 5 terabytes of storage. We got the 5080, we've got the Corsair AIO, all matching Corsair fans, MSI MPG X870E motherboard, 1000 watt power supply from Seasonic. First ever power on. So bright the camera can't handle it. The camera can't handle it. Here, let's bring the lights down a little bit. There. It's a little bit better. I want one, but it's sold out so quick. The most stressful time of any build? Nah. Nah. No stress here. 5600 good with a 7700 XT. Yeah, it's a solid combo. I would say really good for 1080p gaming. Gonna be kind of for 1440p gaming, depending on what you set your graphic settings to. It's pretty nice. What do we think? Was it worth it, chat? Do you think it's worth it? Looks sick. Thank you. Flashback from 15 years ago. All around clean build, very satisfying. Thank you. What up, Scrat? How we doing? Yeah. Any questions on the build or just questions in general before we call it a night? Is that messing with your brain, seeing it just wiggle like that? Any questions? Going once? Going twice? By any chance, do you have a spare GPU? I mean, not for free. The edge screen would really finish that off. Dude, yeah, put the nice little edge screen right there. That would be sick. See the postcode? It's just 00, but we've got a green light, so we're good. Green light means it posted. No custom cable mods on build of that quality. No, I tried to keep it, you know, it's funny because like obviously these guys, you know, NFL players, they have a good amount of money. Like they're making really good money. But their spending is very much like a lot of times like their agents or, you know, people that work for them like are making sure that they're not like getting ripped off and stuff like that. So we didn't do custom cables or anything like that didn't need to be there. Like we wanted it, like I wanted to do stuff that's high end to make it look good. Obviously he wanted high end performance. But I try to be very cognizant, even if it's somebody that has a ton of money, like, hey, here's what I think would look best. They can come back and say, no, let's do more, let's do this, let's do that. But yeah, this is what I gave him this quote with like these exact things in it, and he was like, cool, let's do it. So. Yeah, and I even told him too, I was like, because he said he wanted it in white. I was like, hey, just so you know, like I'm happy to do it with like this. Here's the price. You are paying a premium for that. For this being in white, I was like, it's gonna cost you more. He was fine with it, so we said, okay, let's go. Like I don't care who the customer is, I'm gonna treat them the same and not try and like go crazy just because they have money, right? Like that would be, I don't think people would like that. All right, y'all. That's it. We're done. I'm gonna go home and eat some dinner because I'm hungry. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. I'm probably gonna have to take some measurements on this guy and see if we can design something up that can work as a GPU support, and then we'll be putting software and everything on it. Lol. You're too late, spammer. It's already at the end. It's already the end, bro. Love the RG builds. I think the next build I do will be murdered out. Love that. GG's. Hey, thank you. Oh, also, by the way, we're gonna do like an official announcement for it. I mentioned Signal RGB at one point. You'll see it in the description on YouTube at least. We also joined on with Signal RGB as like an affiliate, maybe doing some sponsored videos in the future. But if you want a software that can handle anything, Corsair IQ products, Lee products, you know, anything that happens to be connected to your motherboard, peripherals, like audio stuff, all of that, Signal RGB does a great job. I've used it a bunch. I do not feel like a shill joining on with them because I already love their product. So yeah, if you guys need a software like that, Signal RGB is great. I have a referral code if you are interested in their like pro version, which has a bunch of features that you can take advantage of. But yeah, we will see you guys on the next one. Hopefully I don't sound like a sellout announcing Corsair and Signal RGB in the same day, but whatever. I'm just trying to, you know, just trying to make better content for you guys. So we'll see you on the next one. I'm out.